Kia ora, namaste, and a very warm welcome back to all our viewers tuning in from around New Zealand and beyond. You're watching live coverage of the 2025 New Zealand Indian Hockey Championship, proudly hosted this year by the Waikato Indian Sports Club in conjunction with New Zealand Indian Sports Association, bringing together community, competition and culture. This tournament has grown into one of the premier events on the New Zealand Indian community sporting calendar, showcasing not only some of the best hockey talent in the country, but also a legacy that stretches back generations. Today's final day of the tournament, where teams are competing for their final positions, culminating with these last two games. Our women's, a virtual final with two unbeaten teams here, and then we'll finish the day with the men's A-section final. After this, I'm joined in commentary by Seedal Patel from Pukekohe Indian Sports Club. Seedal, welcome.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be back.
Yeah, and glad to be back on the back of a win this morning as well. You ladies are an impressive win out there over Wellington.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice to have the last 2 days with a couple of dubs and finishing higher than we did last year. So, that's always a bonus.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations to you and the team finishing in third place there with 2 wins from the weekend. And today's matchup, well, it's the two teams you couldn't quite get past on day one here. It's Bay of Plenty taking on North Harbour. Now, these two teams have taken home the title each of the last 4 years, or 3 years, apologies. Harbour winning it last year up in Harbour, Bay of Plenty taking the 2 prior to that in Christchurch and in Wellington. And now the opportunity for them to etch their name on the title again for 2025. Just looking across the teams, a couple of players to watch for the Bay of Plenty team. Rajwinder Kaur has been the name on everybody's lips this weekend. The former Indian international women's player set the tournament alight with 4 goals in her first game and has continued to build since then. So look for her work going forward. The number 4 alongside her, Kashona Tapachetri, the goalkeeper for the Bay of Plenty ladies, has been an anchor not only for the Bay but for NZI in previous years as well. And they're captained this weekend by Jazz Fitzwalter, one of the 2 Fitzwalter twins out there for Bay of Plenty. And they're there in the pink strip. Looking over at the North Harbour Indians, it's hard to go past the captain, Rashika Chiba. She's been impressive again all weekend. Looks like they've regained the services of Gurleen Gill, who will take the field with a bit of knee strapping on. And I've also been impressed with some of the young players, Leela James, Allegra Haley. I thought were impressive in their match yesterday. So some names to look out for. Seedal, you got up close and personal with both these teams on day one. Results not going your way, but what do you like out of either of these two teams?
I just like the ball movement that both teams have. They've got a solid core, Harbour, and they work well with each other. So when they bounce the ball off each other, it's really good to see. And then obviously Bay of Plenty, with the likes of Oriwa linking it up with the strikers. So Rajwinder is able to do her thing and show it with as much flair as she possibly can. Yeah,
you're absolutely right. Now looking back, like I said, North Harbour, they're the defending champs. They're 3 from 3 and pretty loaded with New Zealand Indian sports representatives again this season. Bay of Plenty, they've won 2 of the last 3 titles, as I mentioned. They haven't conceded a goal this weekend, so pretty good around the back. And as you mentioned, the name Oriwa Hepi, they'll be without Oriwa today, and they're going to do it tough here. The one thing I do notice as the teams come out back on the card, though, Michaela Wepper. So she's been at the coaching sticks all weekend, and she is suiting up for this one. So Oriwa Hepi, a huge loss, of course, for Bay of Plenty, and perhaps provides an opportunity for North Harbour to exploit a piece that has been so influential for the Bay, though. And, this is still a team sport, and there's still 11 of them out there at a time ready to do the job. The umpires for today's match, we can see in the middle there, Danny Walker and Hamish McNally. They'll take control of this, though not written as a women's final. It is the final. These two teams both coming in 3 from 3, 15 points, all bonus point wins across their 3 opening games. And winner takes all here, whether it's via the penalty shootout by 1 goal or by the bonus point 2, it doesn't matter. Winner takes the trophy for 2025. And Seedal, looking forward to this one. This is the matchup that most were looking forward to even before a ball was hit. So what are your predictions? What are you excited for? What are you looking for?
Oh, hard to tell. I'm looking forward to Kishona actually getting a workout this tournament. I don't think she's actually had to do anything leading up to. It's always good to see her when she fully comes out and just own that circle. I'm looking forward to Harbour linking up together, actually, like, your solid spine down the middle, driving that ball through, working with each other, and then, Monica getting those cheeky touches in.
Yeah, there's a couple of players, and, we didn't mention just on the left of your screen there, Monica Patel, part of North Harbour, leading goal scorer, or up the top there with that other one in screen, Rajwinder Kaur. So it'd be interesting to see those two centre strikers go head-to-head out there today. And another one, Shayna Narside, who's been deadly up the middle of the field for North Harbour. The way she can carry the ball and eliminate defenders has been equally exciting this weekend. So couple to watch there. Rajwinder Kaur, she'll get the first start here with the ball, and Bay of Plenty get things underway. And a little miscue there will fall the way of North Harbour. A little touch will fall there for Allegra Healy. She's one I mentioned in the build-up. They go forward here. And this is one key part of the field that I think North Harbour can really look to exploit. Just some of the pace difference at the back. Now, they got some real speed up the front when you're looking at Monica up there, Leela, even when Shayna works her way through with Curry, is they've got some speed, which could be tough for Bop to handle at the back.
Yeah, absolutely. As soon as they break through that line, that's when they've got to turn the afterburners on and just get in behind them.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's something they will have identified. Here comes Shayna Narsai, beats one, beats two, still going Narsai. There's the entry, there's the ball across. And it's still not clear. And they get down low in the defensive work, but it's going to be penalty corner time here for North Harbour. Fast start inside the first 90 seconds as we see the lights flick on here at the Gallagher Hockey Centre. Women's final action. There's the North Harbour bench. And here's the North Harbour penalty corner. I thought it was well worked by Shayna Narsai. I thought they might have even been able to find a breakthrough.
Got that little cheeky touch in across. We definitely know that Harbour's had their fair share of practices at PC, so hopefully this one sets in.
They go short to Rashika Chibet. First save is good. Second save is good. Third one is in the back of the goal. And they start fast. North Harbour, smiles and applause in the dugout. We'll see it again. It's actually the injector that gets on the end of it. First one, good save. Second one with the hands and just didn't clear it enough there. And it's Alicia Kushal who puts one in early doors here for North Harbour. And we mentioned Bay of Plenty hadn't conceded a goal coming into this match. And just like that, Harbour get the first advantage. And I will admit, Seidel, I didn't think it was going to happen so quickly in this one.
No, and it's a good thing that they did as well, just because it helps them to relax just slightly. Though there's still, a massive game to go, but it just helps the nerves settle in, especially for the final.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head, very documented struggles at the penalty corner bracket. In previous games, one we saw yesterday was less than flattering for the Harbour team.
Double digits, wasn't it?
Yes, so nice for them to just, like you say, take the edge off a little bit, calm the nerves. They've found one, had a bit of success, and now going again. Shayna Narsai there just got sandwiched.
I think Rajwinder's going to have to do a lot of work today. We're going to be finding her fully at the back and then right up at the front.
Yeah, and we talked about it off air just before the game started. A lot of the work that Orewa Hepi was able to do with this BOP team was the transition work from, especially from defence to attack. So just allowing her strikers to play a little bit higher up the field, get the ball in better spots, and create for them. Now that link is missing, and it's going to have to be by committee here. I'd like to see the likes of the Wepa sisters, Jazz Fitzwalter, even Tamar Heppy just step up and do a little bit more of that work. As much as I know Rajwinder Kaur probably has the skill set to go and do it, you don't want her 60 metres away from the goal.
No, absolutely not, especially when she's a lot more dynamic up and towards the attacking circle.
Yeah. There's this one cut out by Harbour, and away comes Shayna Narsight, trying to work her way through. She's evading defenders at the moment and will drop it off. Bit of space here for Monica Patel. And another free hit coming for North Harbour just inside the 25-yard line. It's taken quickly. Still going. Narsai beats 1, 2, and gets a quick call there for not 5. And away she goes. Narsai into the circle. That one a little heavy.
Definitely one of those players that you kind of want to shut it down early and shut it down outside the circle.
Yeah, they're really going to have to be switched on with her speed around the edge of the circle as we take a quick look into the Bay of Plenty dugout there. Narsai right up on the circle edge, brings Curry onto it, but she meets the flat stick, and now Rajwinder Kaur, she comes away with it. This is the superstar that Bay of Plenty have had. And yeah, a little less than stardom, that one. And away come Harbour up this left side. The entry is a little messy.
Definitely think if Harbour carries it down the baseline and use their speed to come across and then pop it in onto the spot. Just making sure that you're getting the players where they need to be.
Yeah, and it's like I say, it's the two bits of opportunity, right? We talk about the speed, but also with Kashona and goal for Bay of Plenty, you can't expect just to hit them past her one-on-one like that. So being able to use the baseline, open up the rest of the circle, and perhaps get a tap in is the way forward, as Bay of Plenty perhaps fortunately roll onto a long corner here. Took a touch on its way through, and onto the field now is the coach come player, Michaela Wepper there. And now they come forward. This one, Stacey Wepper. She's taken on. Rashika Chibit wins one and gets it going. The sisters linking up there. In it comes for Bay of Plenty, and out will be the free hit for North Harbour. Navina Hera on the ball. Hard to miss in those bright yellow shoes this weekend. Cedal, perhaps a little out of character for Nav, being so bright and out there.
She likes her pink.
Yeah.
But it makes it easier for us to spot her.
Yeah, that's it. Maybe I reckon she goes a bit faster in them too. As we see there, Parish Becker just talking through his ideas and plans with the subs ready to go on, and now Curry with a little bit of space here if she can get it going. The first free hit going the way of Bay of Plenty, and they'll trot up the field. You could see there just a lot of communication coming out of the BOP dugout from Tamar Heppy. And this one will go the way of North Harbour.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I think Bay of Plenty will try and look for those long balls too. It's going to be quite hard, especially if you don't have Rajwinder up there. It's just going to keep going over the back line. Yeah,
the long ball, as much of a good weapon as it is, got to have somebody up there on the other end of it to really capitalise on them. And you're right, could see a few of them go over the back line without that target.
Turning into a bit of a big tennis match, I think.
Yeah.
On the other end of the game.
It is, yeah. Got to make a special little shout out to Heppy Sports. Of course, a new club and team down in the Rotorua region. As we see this little shot come across and defended 10 of these Bay of Plenty ladies, all playing for the Heppy Sports Club this season. So cool to have them getting some reps in their club season and then bringing it out here to the tournament. So
awesome.
I know a lot of work that Audiwa and her family have done putting that together with the main objective of giving women a space to play hockey even those, perhaps returning from motherhood or those getting back into the sport. Pretty cool stuff there as we see the bulk of this team made up from those. And Shayna Narsite going, Allegra Healy gets it going goalward, and it's cleared out to the sideline.
Yeah, definitely think the younger Harbour players will need to get into a good space so that Shayna can pop the ball to them. You know she's going to dribble it into the circle and she's going to carry it for a bit longer. So making sure that they are in the right spot for when she does flick that pass off.
Yeah, and really important for those young players as well, not to get too close to the Bay of Plenty defenders. Like I said, they're physical, they're strong, they like those big sweeping clearance hits.
Yeah.
Really got to work to find those spaces in the attacking circle, because they're just going to get pushed out of those zones by the solid defenders.
I think that's what our younger ones kind of learnt the hard way against Bay of Plenty the first game up on... second game up for us on Saturday. Just the physicality that Bay of Plenty brings, you know. It's not dirty, but it's strong hockey.
Yeah, and they're strong players out there for the BOP team. As you see, they'll roll their players forward. There's one, always in the gym. Tamar, she's ready to come on from the sideline. And there's that long ball. And there was Rajwinda Kaur looking for it. She's going to try and pull that one in. It's a bit big, the pass from Stacey Wepper.
And I think the one thing for Harbour is that they know they're going to try and find Rajwinda, so it's just a matter of just cutting that ball off to her. With the likes of Nav, Rishi, Curry, they will sit and cut that line off.
Yeah, and I think that's the combo they have at the back there, and they work so well together. So you see Allegra Healy work up this left-hand touch line, needs to find a pass, and like I said, tough to go through those physical defenders. That one a little bit wayward. But to your point, yeah, you've kind of got Nav holds the middle of the field and Rishi does the chasing.
Yeah.
And they kind of try and cut that out as this one's going to go against North Harbour. We close in on the final 3.5 minutes here in the first quarter. It's a great start for North Harbour, 1-0 in this women's final for NZIHC 2025. And they look long again. That's well cut out by the goal scorer. Now a little messy over in front of the dugouts from both sides here. They finally get one by plenty, and even then they run into each other. And we're going to get a card for not 5. I think Curry's arguing that, well, who even took it? With 3 of them on top of each other, and pretty hard to tell what was actually going on there.
I don't think they actually placed the ball.
No, tough one, but pleasing for the Bay of Plenty dugout. You could see them cheering for that advantage they've got now, and perhaps an opportunity here in the final 3 minutes, but cut out by the captain. Oh, a touch there from Leela James. Perhaps even surprised herself that she got some of it, and now...
Oh, she's got the arm length to be able to do those.
That's it. I think when she gets it in one hand, plays on both sides of the field at the same time. And familiar sights there. Karishma Kumar, we've seen it 2 from 2 on the live stream games now.
I think her name's still etched on the back of the seat, eh?
Well, they had to scrub Manisha Jerams off it.
Yeah.
To put someone else in. And now a little back and forth here. Shayna Narsai comes away with it. Beats one. Oh, wins a free hit and we'll get it going quickly. Beats her again. Same one. Oh, she's asking for the first free hit. And then just about wears it from behind this time. There's a nice little steal from Fredrickson. And turns on it. Trying to win a free hit. Doesn't come. I thought she might have done enough to win that one. And Navina Hera just happy to see it at the other end for 90 seconds as they run away into the corner. Jaina Patel. Oof. Yeah, that's the... oh, and you could see it on the lips there. We didn't even have to see it yellow. You could see the response from Stacey Wepper in the dugout. Yellow card and the penalty corner. So with 1 minute left on the clock here, Harbour are going to get an opportunity to double their lead, and then they're going to spend 4 minutes into the second quarter up one player. And here we see some jokes among mates sporting different coloured cards there. Curry, she's about ready to come back on. And now it looks like, yeah, they're going to ditch the trapping situation.
Yeah, their trapper had come off from their extended break, I think.
And they follow up. This one, Leela James. It's high fives all around the Harbour dugout. Leela James gets the second. Again, it's a good first up save. I think it was on the line, the first save. Great line save, but just too hard to follow that one up. Alicia Sukdev there making the first save, but nothing they could do in Harbour.
It'd be a bit disheartening too, also making that first save and then just watching it go back in afterwards. But, good placement by Leela James.
And look,
there for the follow-up.
How costly could that yellow card turn for Bay of Plenty?
Absolutely.
Yellow card, so they're without a player for 4 more minutes. They've already conceded a goal in that period. And look, if Harbour can come out here in those first 4 minutes and potentially score a third, they might just run away with this one.
Absolutely, and it just gives them that little bit more opportunity just to sit back, still play solid hockey, but just relax and just move the ball around a little bit more and just not be so rushed about it.
Yep, and it's a huge improvement from the penalty corners that we saw yesterday.
Absolutely, is that 2 for 2?
I think they're 2 for 2. That yes, they're on follow-ups, but the execution, at least from the top, has been as they wanted. This one saved again, and then put away there.
It must have been all of their practices yesterday.
Look,
surely.
They tried to tell me that yesterday was a training run for their penalty corner, and they didn't want to give anything away, they said. That one batted in. Alicia Kushal there. And then some work around the edge of the circle. And forcing a save from Kashona. This is the penalty corner. Navina, first time is saved. Second one, though, they can't get it away from Leela James. And huge quarter. Huge quarter from North Harbour, the defending champs. Look the goods, at least for this first 15 minutes, and a big battle coming up here now for Bay of Plenty. We can see into their huddle at the moment. And they know they've got some work to do, and they're going to have to do it with one less set of legs on the field for the first 4 minutes of the second quarter. And teams coming out now onto the pitch. It smiles for North Harbour. And perhaps a grimace on the face of Bay of Plenty. They know they're in a hole they haven't seen this weekend. I said hadn't conceded a goal and now find themselves on the back of 2-0.
On the game that counts.
Yeah, and in the big one. And what a time to make it all count here for North Harbour. Interesting there.
Yeah.
Monica just stood 2 meters away, contested the pass, and all good. Probably should be sitting alongside, well, actually Curry's back off the chair now, but probably should be taking that spot.
Yeah, that was actually quite interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting taking that shot too. Like, what made you think to go that way?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, player down.
And Monica takes it quickly this time. And it's still there for her. Shayna looking across the field, lovely. Overlap to Curry, but it's a bit big. And they bail it out to the sideline. Not Priya, that's Sammy at the back. And interesting time also to sub Rajwinder Kaur.
Yep.
So we're down a player. We've just conceded a goal, and we're going to take our international off the field for a little bit. Probably not the tact I'd go with. But here come Bay of Plenty through Fredrickson. Tamar Heppy there trying to link up with Jazz Fitzwalter, the captain, and it's cut out by her opposite. And Rashika Chiba.
This is the dangerous part that Bay Plenty need to shut down.
Nah, sorry, just working magic. Healy, Chiba, across it goes. Whoa.
Yeah, those touches that we're talking about, you know, Monica can get those ones in if they're coming at pace.
Yeah, we spoke about her goal scoring as well already in this tournament, showing it already. The opportunities coming for Harbour, and they're really going to have to lock up now, Bad Plenty, because if they concede one more, especially in the second quarter, could put it out of reach, though they've had no shortage of scoring goals in their earlier games. It's going to take a bit of magic to get it done here as we see Girling Gill back onto the field. Oh, another excellent touch. That time it was Monica, but from further out near the edge of the circle. And Parishbeka, he'll be pretty happy at the moment. There's Juhi Fitzwalter now at the back for Bad Plenty. They're going to get a reset. Shane a bit eager on that one. And now they get going forward. Bad Plenty. Looking down, trying to find a way through. And penalty corner again here. It's a hard whistle outside the circle.
Yeah.
I thought that was probably a little unlucky, that one. More of a stick tangle up than real ill intent, but we can have a penalty corner. We'll see it again on the replay. Little drag back. Yeah, I mean, it sticks out in one hand and it's a bit of a sweeping motion, but I thought probably a firm whistle, maybe a green, good enough.
Yeah.
And this could really make things difficult here. Looks like they've got their trapper back on. Look at Nav just narrowing up her defenders. And the goal scorer ready to inject. Good couple of saves. It's going to fall for Navina Hira. Third save from Kashona. It was actually Gurleen Gill who was at the top of the bracket. Had the first shot at it that time.
Go for that drag flick.
Yeah, thought she was going for the flick there. A little untidy though and had to hit it. Now Rajwinder Kaur, she's going to have to go about 70 metres. Though linking up there with the captain. And a bit of Fitzwalter action there between the two before they get it going up the right side of the field. Lovely ball. And back in there too, Jazz Fitzwalter. And the free hit's actually for Shayna Narsai. A little confusion there.
Oh, nice spin.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of them across different teams there. Now Shayna Narsai goes forward with it, and
That one was interesting.
yeah, a couple of head scratches back to back there on both sides of the field. I think both teams a little unsure of what, why, when, where, and how.
Yeah. I do think that they need to tidy it up a little bit more. It's just getting a little bit disjointed.
Yeah.
And they're just chucking the ball around for no reason. Like, let's get them to the players. Let's move the ball around.
Yeah, that's it. And, you know, Harbour can be a little more conservative in that, really keeping periods of possession. I understand Bad Plenty having to throw a couple extra bits in chase, but, you know, I'd like to see Harbour just tighten things up a little bit.
No, go back to their style of hockey.
Yeah, and just starve Bad Plenty of the ball
Yeah.
for periods. Well, Bad Plenty, they have to show a little bit of the magic. They have to find, you know, a little elimination, a free hit. And perhaps one of these ball over distances that comes off. Here we are. And Krishna Kumar really just got back and got in the way more than anything there, but it's enough to slow down Kaur. And she'll take it one-on-one, top of the circle. Picked back up by Tamar Hepi, and she'll take it quickly as well. And it beats everybody over the back line. As we see subs coming on for both teams. And look at it now. Bad Plenty up in the full press. You can just see the people in the screen there. They're right up on that 5. And Narsai, can she pull it down? Yep, right in front of us. Gets it going. Tried the little through ball there, cut out.
Which is the right idea. I think the strikers need to realise that they need to get into the space and not expect it to come straight to them.
Yeah. Got to keep moving. And like I said, there's a speed advantage at that end of the field for Harbour. So if they can keep them moving, those gaps are going to open up. As we see a great ball forward here to Louis Hippie. She will win a big penalty corner, and I will say I like the consistency at both ends, though I probably didn't agree with the last penalty corner. Very similar situation here. Just getting tangled up and stopping the potential break into the circle. So well umpired, and we'll see it again here. Their first one just stick right across the body. I think Gurleen is a little disappointed because the second one was clean.
Yeah.
It's just the first one that was a little rough. And now Bay of Plenty, well, they're going to have to find a way here. This would be huge for them as they look a little bit of paper, scissors, rock on who's going to...
Yeah. I think they're all talking about what they...
Yeah, who can do what? Anyone know how to trap? What's your name again?
Oh, it must have taken too long.
Yeah, it's interesting. So it's still a penalty corner, but it's a card to the captain for taking too long, or a card at least for somebody involved there for the time. I'm not sure if that's actually what the rule is, but...
I think that's the first time I've ever seen that.
Yeah, I've actually never seen it done like that. It's, special.
Oh, there we go.
We knew... Oh, no. Oh, first shot. First shot there too high. That little reverse turn into the net. Forget it was a penalty corner because she'd already eliminated, quite a few. There's 1, 2 turns.
The razzle dazzle.
Yeah, and that one too high. So, yeah, Bay of Plenty. Interesting there. Just got burnt for taking too long. We actually made mention. It didn't look like they knew what they were doing.
No.
And it's almost cost them there. Actually, I've never seen that before. Or somebody carded, but they keep their penalty corner. As Shannon Arsai gets going forward.
Just goes to show the presence that Orewa has.
Yeah.
And how she commands the field when she is on.
Yeah, absolutely. And she, we've already mentioned how sorely missed I'm sure that she is. But they're going to have to find a way here, Bay of Plenty. There's no shortage of skills out there for the ladies in pink. They've just got to put it all together.
They've got it there, yeah. Like you said, they've got to link it through.
Yep.
They've had a few opportunities as well. It's not like they haven't. It's just about, that good finish and making sure that they work together.
Yeah, and it's finding where each other's skill sets suit on the field. As we see, Cores had to come back a little bit deeper to help things through. That's cool, but they need players up in the circle, which they've got now. And perhaps an opportunity for Bay of Plenty to strike back. And that one, just didn't get that one quite right. Unfortunate there.
Yeah, I think you could see the intent for that, that nice hard flat crash ball, which potentially could work. But, when you've got the likes of Rashika and Navina there that can read that quite easily.
Yep.
They might need to mix it up.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think they're going to have to try and move things around a little bit more. Like you say, just trying to go direct through those two isn't going to work very often. They perhaps need to work something in, get a quick free hit, get them on the back foot and earn a penalty corner or the little advantage through from that. But I don't think trying to hit it straight through Nav and Rishi is going to work too well.
No. I do like how Bay of Plenty is using the back and arounds. Let's like switching up the play and stuff as well. You've got the likes of Alicia Sukdev at the back that can see those through balls and can throw them through. Yeah,
I think that's probably one of the highlights of their game is while I mentioned a bit of a speed mismatch at the back, because they're so strong around the back, they are comfortable throwing that back three transfer. As we see Harbour come through, it's a lovely ball. Cut out well by Juhi Fitzwalter.
Yeah, it was nice to have the twins back for Heritage Tournament this year.
Yeah, of course, spending a bit of time over in England over the last little while, back in the country though, and back playing together out here for Bay of Plenty, and like you say, representing NZI a little earlier in the year as well. As we see this one fall through here, it's going to be cleaned up at least the second time by the goal scorer. And I will say, young Alicia Kushal, talking a big game before the match. When I caught up with some of the players, certainly around those penalty corners. So good to see they finally executed a couple. Now, Bay of Plenty will win one. Again, just a dangerous ball going through traffic. And we close in on the final 3 minutes of this first half, and North Harbour have so far been able to keep control of this lead. Bay of Plenty not finding any way through as Michaela Wepper goes on a little bit of a run and will take that free hit that she thought she'd earned a little earlier. Gets it going, and now Jazz Fitzwalter, great pass, Minjot Lal to Louis Heppy. Heppy tries to thread the needle. Good control shown there by Navina.
Yep.
She was trying to go downtown, and the whistle came. Here's Juhi Fitzwalter. Good entry. Back again for Fitzwalter. And still just unable to really clear the ball, Harbour. And that one deflected through, not picking up any attackers in the circle.
Definitely think Bay of Plenty need to be a little bit more aggressive in that circle. You know, those last few shots, while they kind of went in, there was no real hunger to want to score that goal.
Yeah, and you know, they find themselves behind on the scoreboard. They are going to have to start to risk it a little bit. They are going to have to start chancing their arm. I know it feels like there's still a ton of hockey, but man, when you're behind 2-0 on the scoreboard in a final, it can disappear on you real quick.
Absolutely.
And they would love to score one, you know, if not in these final minute and a half of this quarter, certainly in the first 5 to 6 minutes of the third.
Wonderful transfer.
They've won one here. Rajwinda Court, she needs players ahead of her. Man, probably thought they deserved a card there after the number of them that have been handed out. Rajwinda Court breaking her way forward towards the 25-yard line. They're just going to come back for the regulation free hit. And what we can see down in front of us, well, the boys are back in town. Pookie and Wellington have arrived. Their men's A section final coming up after this. Again, we're looking at 2 previous champs going head-to-head, just like we have out here in the women's. And that's going to be a huge one here to finish our tournament. And those 2 teams, Pookie A and Wellington, of course, contesting the coveted Diane Chand trophy. As Harbour worked their way out of defence.
That was well read by Curry. She was able to hold the space, and you know she's got the legs to be able to get there as well. So what she tends to do is just hold the space and then go to once they've released the ball.
And there you see some of the expertise of Navina Hera. Head down, saw the clock. About 10 seconds to burn there in the corner. She'll be happy to get through to the halftime siren, and there it is. North Harbour are ahead 2-0 in the women's final here. New Zealand Indian Hockey Championship 2025, hosted by Waikato Indian Sports Club. Sees the defending champs with one hand back on the trophy. There's Monica Patel. And they'll be all smiles at the moment in the Harbour huddle. Bay of Plenty, they've got a bit to do here. Found themselves in a strange position, one they haven't encountered this weekend, trailing on the scoreboard. As we see some of the highlights here. The first goal. Rishi save, Allegra save, but Alicia Kushal wouldn't be denied. Let's hear it from the top angle. It's excellent work here from Kushona. Foot, hand, but just couldn't get the legs together quick enough.
That was an awkward position to come back up
to
as well.
And we saw a little scrambling save there, and then the second goal. Navina, no, but Leela James puts it in the back of the goal, and it's penalty corner follow-up. So the major point of contention for the Bay of Plenty side is got to be better at clearing the first save. Got to be better at getting around and eliminating that second chance opportunity. This one was the penalty corner that they earned in the third. First up save, second save. That's better. See, that's that clearance work there, and then getting onto the shot. What a fantastic save from Kashona. And then Rajwinder Kaur went freestyle, and fortunately for Harbour, that first shot too high on the PC, and that's the tail of it at the moment. Seedle, what's impressed you so much about this Harbour team?
Compared to yesterday against the Wellington team, they're actually stringing passes along together, and there's a bit more urgency with them. I think an extra bonus is they're actually converting off their PCs. Yeah, no, they're just playing a lot better than they did against Wellington. I think that was a bit of a wake-up call for them.
Yeah, I think you nailed it on the head. You know, they'd gone through unbeaten into yesterday's game, and probably thought it was just all going to happen, and you know, it really didn't for them. It got there in the end, and the scoreline probably flatters them a little bit. But I think really starting to turn the volume up here, and execution going forward has been vastly improved, which will be pleasing the coach there, Parish Becker. Now, Bay Plenty, it's the tough huddle to be in at the moment. Seedle, what do you think they're talking about? What's the main messaging coming out with the Bay Plenty team?
I think, you know, most of it just working the ball out, like the giving the long ball, which is, you know, the intent is there, but it's not quite reaching the players that it needs to. Like, you know, you can't get the ball past Rashika or Nav or, you know, Shayna or Karishma. So they just need to make sure that they're working the ball around and then throwing that crash ball and getting Rajwinder in the circle to do her thing. But they're just, yeah, they're not quite there yet.
Yeah, I agree. Couldn't agree more. And I think that I'd love to use that sort of base sideline 25-yard area into the T-bar a bit more rather than trying to come through the head of the circle, because like you say, the strength is in the middle for North Harbour. That's no surprise with the players they've got up the middle of the field. So you know, being able to work those outside flanks and then the ball across, or then the entry in and behind the likes of Rishi and Navina, perhaps is the way forward for Bay of Plenty. But I think you hit the nail on the head. They've got to get the players up the field.
Yeah,
they've got to work those passes going in the right direction, and then we may see some of the magic that we're used to for this Bay of Plenty Indian ladies side.
Yeah, absolutely. And you called it when, you know, the players at the back, you know, they've got that strength that they can send those nice, good balls. But, you know, you've got to have that connection zone in the middle going. Otherwise, it's just turns a bit messy.
Yeah, and gets end to end. And the one thing about this Bay of Plenty team, they don't want to get into a running race with North Harbour. So, yeah, a little bit more control needed for Bay of Plenty as teams too eager.
Yeah.
Too excited to get out there. We're just going to stand in the awkwardness that is 20 seconds of waiting for the clock to count itself down.
Talk about Nash shoes, how you can see them.
Yeah, there they are. And a few bright ones, actually, if you know, over the back there, some bright ones. And I think opposing her, Rajwinder's got some pretty bright pink ones on as well. So we'll see Navina go downtown off the hit off, and they're going to try and keep them at this end. For those of you just joining us, this is the 2025 New Zealand Indian Hockey Championship, brought to you live thanks to New Zealand Indian Sports Association, the team at Local Gecko Productions, and the huge support from One Foundation. We're out here in the women's it's final round robin game, but it is two unbeaten teams going head-to-head for the top spot. Our women's final 2025 between North Harbour Indians, the defending champs, and Bay of Plenty, the previous two-time winners. So a real battle of the best here as Shayna Narsai gets it going forward. Narsai weaving. And sounds like we're going to have another corner and card situation here. Umpire not happy about it. Hopefully we can get a little bit of a look at it. And no, not corner and card, just corner and a firm warning. Yeah, I don't think a lot in that, honestly. You know, this is adults hockey,
Yeah.
and you love to see players battling it out. That is their strength. The Bad Plenty is their physicality around the back. And look, I think getting a good body contact there without it being illegal, I think that's pretty good defending.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just want to go to Navina. Looked at the 1-2, didn't like it, opted for the left side. And nice little flick there from Gurleen Gill is saved. Now Rishi, wow, she winds up on one and opts for a shorter angle. And this one misses on the near side. So defended in the end by Bad Plenty. And perhaps justice in defence there. As we see a bit of tumble up the middle of the field. And again, that's just desperation from Bad Plenty. I love to see it. Now Monica trying to work her way past. Great tackle there from Annalisa Fitzgerald. And she goes, yeah, that's... I get the idea, but like you say, we've got to have players there for it to come off. Otherwise, you're just inviting another wave of North Harbour attack as Krishma Kumar runs into Jazz Fitzwalter. Oh, little V-drag, Shayna Narsai.
The last person you want to get the ball.
Yeah, in broken play, she's electric. And they'll get another one. Shayna Narsai gets it going to her captain, Chiba, through the first tackle.
Much better outletting, like you said before. Like they make that save, and they need to make sure that they get it out of the circle and not just give it straight back to Harbour.
Yeah, and yeah, from the other side, the other umpire is going to call it actually the other way here. A little touch, perhaps, from Harbour on its way out. So Bad Plenty with the ball at their own end and still under a bit of pressure. It's a nice ball into the middle of the field, but it's the next pass that's the important one. And there it is, better from Bad Plenty. Cut out by Rishi. Who gets it going, eliminates on the free hit, and now looking long to Monica Patel. Lovely link up with Shayna Narsai. And again, it's just wave after wave at the moment. Bad Plenty really doing it tough here in this first 4 minutes of the second half.
You can definitely tell the fatigue is starting to set in. You know, those 4 games in 3 days is a big ask on the bodies.
Yeah, and remembering while Bad Plenty had the luxury of the first game off, it has meant they've played the 4 closest games coming into this one. So pros and cons, of course, of the draw.
Absolutely.
Both ways. Harbour, I think they had their gap somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Versus, yeah, Bad Plenty who are now 4 on the trot every round. Yeah, we'll just get a reset of this a couple of times. Navina Hera looking for her options, cut out. A bit of desperation shown by Bad Plenty, and it's going to fall into the circle. And it's all scrambles at the moment for Bad Plenty. Stacey Wepper trying to find any option. She's found her own foot. That's an unfortunate one. And off to the races is Navina Hera. Oh, my goodness. And wins the penalty corner as well. Winding the clock back.
Pure skill right there.
Yeah.
Just the cool, calm, collected, just carried in, and yeah.
Yeah, I tell you what, have a look at the wrists on this. Boom, 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 boom. See you later, all 3 of you. And wins the penalty corner as well. And Lisa Fitzgerald can't believe it. She thought she was in a good spot.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's nothing you can do when Nav gets rolling like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And just how quick it was too. I think they just kind of watched her walk it in.
Yeah. A big one here for both teams will be Navina Hera. Oh, and it's taken a little touch on its way through, I think, from one of the Bad Plenty defenders. And just took a bit off it, which fortunately for the Bay went wide of the goal. But now they're going to defend again. Shayna Narsai this time. Illegal body obstruction. And this is better. They've got 2 players up there now, and Manjot Lal and Louis Hepi. This is better. Might have liked to see a little bit better out of that shot there from Manjot Lal. She was under pressure already from Rishika Chiba. Had a pretty tough angle at it.
Yeah.
Perhaps would like to see her break to the middle of the field, maybe earn a penalty corner.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, especially when you're on that angle,
Yeah.
your options are quite minimal. But we're talking about that connection, how it was just 2 passes and they were there. That's what Bay of Plenty need to be able to get back into this, is connecting the ball through the mid.
Yeah, and if they're going to play that long ball, they have to have more than just one person up there. So it was better outlet from Bay of Plenty and better opportunity, but they're going to have to be near on perfect to get this one through here. They're already down 2-0, and North Harbour have some pretty cool customers at the back. So, yeah, Bop with a bit of a challenge on their hands. But I will say, Cedar, if there's one team that I wouldn't count out at this in this situation, it's definitely Bay of Plenty.
Oh, 100%. Even in in our first game against them, and then I think even watching that Wellington game, that did take them at least a half to kind of start sinking those goals in.
Yep.
So, you never know. You still got a whole other quarter to go and a bit of this.
Yeah, well, I think their scores have been sort of 6-0, 4-0, 5-0 in and along those routes, but a lot of their games at half-time, 1-0 or 0-all. So perhaps a team that just thrives on confidence if they can get something going here at Bay of Plenty. Rajwinder Kaur, she's looking long. Decides to stay on this side through the captain, Jazz Fitzwalter. Now she'll look a little longer, but it's cut out by Gurleen Gill.
Yeah, it's a bit hard, eh? You kind of want Ridgewinder to be there in the circle receiving the ball, not the person giving it to the people in the circle.
Yeah, that's where we've seen her at her absolute best, of course, earlier in the tournament. Rajwinder Kaur, who work inside the attacking circle. As Tamar Hepi, she works her way in, but it's cleaned up by Rishi. And of course, for those of you just tuning in, make sure you enjoy the last quarter and a half of this one, but don't go anywhere, because coming up a little later is the men's A section final. That game at about 2:30. Make sure you stick around for it. It's going to be an absolute cracker with the last 2 champions going head-to-head, Pukekohe and Wellington. And as they battle out for the Diane Chanders, we see a big one here for the women's final round robin game, which turned final. As Rishika Chiba now, wow, starting to really impose herself on this quarter. Does it defensively first, but now moving her way up the field. Stacey Wepa under a bit of pressure. Does enough to win the free hit. And just looking at some options there, trying to find a way through. And that one's cut out. And cut out well now. A bit of space up that right side of the field. They keep it in on the touchline. And Bay of Plenty have to be careful here. They've already given away a couple of penalty corners in those situations.
Yeah, just a little bit more clinical with their tackles.
Yeah.
The one out there before, there's no full intention or malice behind it. I think it was just unlucky. And
but sometimes those breakdown tackles there, have to be punished a little tougher. As we see Rishi now working her way through. She'll win a free hit just on the dots and get it going. Gets it back here. Chiba looking. Oh, beats one on the baseline and another one. Just runs out of room. Unfortunate there for Rishika. And an unforced one there for Bay of Plenty will invite another attacking wave here from North Harbour. Oh, lovely. Shayna still looking. Beats another one. Got to go. Oh, and just wide of the goal. Love the skill work there from Shayna Narsai.
Yeah, nice. Two big drags at pace. Looked like she could have almost slotted that in too, I reckon.
It's, again, we were talking about it before the game, you know, where she'd been told maybe a little bit less dribbling. I said, a little bit more.
Yep.
You beat one more, you just about walked the ball in the goal.
Absolutely. Which she should have done, really.
Yeah, she had a go at it, I reckon. Inside, we're very close to the last 3 minutes of this one. This third quarter here. North Harbour again just holding on, doing enough to consolidate their lead. The 2-0 is good at the moment. And that one's actually going about. It must have been high there. We didn't quite see it from this end of the field. And Curry, well, there's not many that'll beat her in a foot race.
No.
And she's off now. Stick in one hand, 3 shoulders on the other side. Perhaps batting out of her weight class, but wins the free hit there anyway, Curry.
Told her not to drop any players today. What did she do?
Yeah, at least she's not spraying penalty corners. That's the good news as Rishi comes forward. Here is Karishma Kumar again. A little tangled up, but it will fall there for Allegra Healy. It's towards the goal. And, yeah, we're going to get a stoppage here. Yeah, bit of comms coming from the other umpire. It's actually a long corner, which I thought looked about right. I think the deflection actually coming from the Bay Plenty player. So, long corner here. Shayna Narsai again in some space on the reverse. And that one's high, wide, and now over the back fence into the rest tent. And interestingly, Settle, a guy from over the back fence, trying to throw it over the tall part of the fence.
Yeah, I was thinking that, and I was like, maybe where it's where he was standing, but I'm like, oh, no, the smaller fence was a bit close, mate.
Yeah, there's the...
Got the good lob going, though.
Yeah, I've seen that not come off so well as Rishi goes away with it. Thought she had the free hit, didn't. And Bop will come the other way. Yeah, again, just trying to figure out where things are due to be played from. And it's one through. It's a nice receive here. Fitzwalter can't link up with Core. And now Allegra Healy. They've got a couple of players up on the other side of the field, but great tackle. Alyssa Fitzgerald, excellent work there for Bay Plenty. Now she gets one going long. Linking up with Fredrickson. But Kushal there. Working away. Alicia Kushal doing good work. Back to Narsai and Chiba. Oh, I love the 1-2 here. Space. They're backing off her. It's still in the circle here for North Harbour. Hopefully we'll get a look at that replay shortly, because I think there was a diving touch from Bay Plenty. We'll have a look at it. Narsai, that's a great... And again, it's Annalisa Fitzgerald diving across. She had to do it because it looked like Jaina Patel there just standing on the post, waiting to touch that one in. Excellent effort there from Annalisa Fitzgerald, saving a sure goal. And the teams go in for their final. Oranges, hopefully we'll be able to hear from the teams in this break. Yeah, the comms there. Yeah,
real good tactic.
the real tactic there was just making sure they look good for the camera.
Like, well, at least you didn't drop the F-bomb
No,
like I did.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly it. But we'll get a look into the huddles if we don't get motion sickness from the bit of camera work there. There's North Harbour now. We see them. Parish Bicker, last bit of instruction. Umpires, 15 minutes left here in the women's final matchup, and their last game of the day as well.
Yeah, definitely think, you know, Harbour can't relax too much. You know, it's only 2-0 down. Oh, sorry, 2-0 up. Bay Plenty can come back into this, but it's just got to make sure that the linking that they are doing is effective, and, you know, the shots on the goal that they do have is decent shots. Yeah, that's what's kind of letting them down a little bit.
Yeah, and I think it's an old cliche there. You know, whichever team wins the first 5 minutes is going to win this game. You know, if Bay Plenty can get on a roll, score one, and they're going to be tough to keep out. But you can hear it there. Let's just get 2 goals, go to shootouts. Because they probably backed themselves with Kashona in goal
100%.
to win a shootout if it gets there. So you heard it pretty clearly there. Let's just get 2, get to shootouts. That's what the is on the mind of Bay Plenty. So really, really huge 5-minute period. Like I said, if Bay can score in the first 5 minutes,
Yeah,
they're going to be so hard to keep out of this game.
absolutely. Like that, just the adrenaline that will build building from that.
Whereas Harbour, if they can either get through the 5 minutes unscathed or potentially score one themselves, I think they probably get out of here alive with this one. So big 5 minutes coming up here in the women's final matchup. Harbour hold the 2-0 lead against Bay Plenty. The defending champs versus the 2-time winners prior to that. And who will take it home here in the Waikato? You can already see there, you know, just from that, from Rishi, no real rush on the Harbour team. They understand the importance of this 5 minutes as well.
Absolutely. Like, it's for them, it's the game management, right? Starving Bay Plenty from the ball, you know, working the ball up together, not just being silly with it. And, you know, for Bay Plenty, it's, you know, we have to get that ball, we have to drive it through.
Yeah, that's why I like, you know, seeing even that little roll out there from Shane and our side, just trying to hold periods of possession, and now she break forward with some opportunity. And it's up off the stick there, and it will be long corner for North Harbour. You can see it's a happy dugout, but it's not a sure dugout. Narsai, can she get through? Oh, big call in the context. Big skill set there shown by Shayna Narsai, and this, Seedle, could very well be the nail in the coffin for this game. We'll see it again, the skill set from Shayna Narsai. She's been incredible. In, under, and yeah, just between the goalkeeper and the defender, they're both, I think, riding the stick of Shayna Narsai. And now Navina Hera with the opportunity to ice this one. And it's saved there by Kashona. We spoke about her importance in goal. Probably not super proud with some of her work earlier in the game, but that one, does it turn the tide here for Bay of Plenty? Is it the moment that you know, it swings momentum and gets them going? Now, that could be huge in the context of this one. A saved penalty stroke there. Harbour denied a third goal by the stick of Kashona Tapachetri for Bay of Plenty. And now Harbour look to go forward again.
Yeah, Kashona will be very happy about saving that one, you know, being one of the causes for that stroke. So
yeah, that's right. When you're part of the reason you give one away, it's pretty important to stand up and make up for it immediately. So huge response there from Kashona, and like I said, it was probably the opportunity to put the game away for North Harbour. No, they're going to have to keep battling here.
Wasn't deterred by Navina's bright shoes either.
No,
so.
Eye on the ball, not on the shoes, and managed to do enough. As we see Navina just showing off that stick skill again down the baseline. She's actually under free hit there, so gets it going in the circle. Oh, look at this. And little obstruction of players in the circle, so Bay of Plenty come away with it. Though, as much as they've done some good defensive work here, the clock is ticking. And for those in pink, it'll feel like it's going a million miles an hour at the moment. They'll look up and think, well, it's been one possession in 3 minutes.
Yep.
And Harbour, they'll be happy to see those seconds tick down. And again, for those in the betting market, the odds are dwindling away for Bay of Plenty. It was probably $9 to $1.01 already, but now it's going. Bay of Plenty, can they find one? Can they get their way through? At the moment, Harbour have stood up to everything defensively. They've been impressive at the back. I think you expect nothing less when you've got some of their players there. As Monica Patel now works her way forward, gets the free hit and gets it going.
Definitely does help that, you know, that Harbour's playing Bay Plenty in the last game, so they're able to see what the likes of Rajwinda is able to do and actually have a proper game plan for it.
Yeah, well, interestingly, yeah, they actually watched 3/4 of the Bay of Plenty game yesterday afternoon. So like you say, a little bit of scout, a little bit of player ID, and looks like it's paying off for them now. As oh, what a pass. Narsai still going, got it back. And Monica can't forget that one. She got a little tangled up on the back post there, but again, we see the players linking up the middle of the field for North Harbour.
Shona's got that covered all day.
The good thing to see for Bay of Plenty, still all smiles in the dugout. They know that they've given everything so far. They've got just under, or just over 10 minutes left here. Try and find a way through, but Karishma Kumar, she's out to the races. Ball in the circles, touched away.
Yeah, she's been able to do what she likes to do, is, you know, carry that ball, go for the run.
Yeah.
And she's got the legs for it too.
And again, big whistle, card, corner.
Another yellow.
And Bay of Plenty doing it tough there. And I dare say, we'll see it on this replay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so just for that shoulder outside the circle there, I think she knew, unfortunately, too, Priya Fitzgerald. A little bit disappointed, I'm sure. And now Harbour with an opportunity, again, to put the nail in the coffin here. And it's Monica Patel with the deflection. They've been doing it all weekend. And from a day where they couldn't buy a penalty corner, they've executed well here at North Harbour. This one will look pretty. What a touch, what a goal. Perfect positioning from Monica Patel, and love the execution from Navina Hira. Harbour go to 3, and I dare say, if Curry didn't have her dancing shoes on already, they're probably not far off. And with under 9 minutes left to play here, Harbour, they just have to play at the right ends of the field and will very likely go back-to-back here in Waikato. And free hit goes the way of Wepa for the little body obstruction there. The right call from the umpire. But again, you can really see it on her face there, struggling to find a way through. This Harbour defensive group have really put a lock on their half of the field, and Bay of Plenty's just struggling for answers at the moment.
Yeah, no, they are struggling with linking that ball through. You can see them wanting to go for the long ball, but they're not able to, because you've got those players there that can pick that up. Ooh.
And Narsai, not some of her prettiest work.
No.
She's been incredible for 99% of this game. That one, though, should rather not see that on the replays. Shayna Narsai, though I'm sure it'll be the first thing she asks about. Yeah. Tell me the camera's cut out or something like that. As Bay of Plenty come up this left side of the field. Nothing coming for Core. She's been kept at bay by the Harbour defensive group, and now a little opportunity perhaps for Harbour.
Oh.
Now, I'm going to stand here and say it, and I'm going to get some hate for it. That's terrible umpiring. That is absolutely awful umpiring. The Bay Plenty player had every right to get in and contest that ball, and it's just by weight difference and size difference that there's any collision there. Yeah, hate to be overly critical, but when they've already got one sitting down for, you know, a 50-50, that one is, that's below ordinary, really. And I got a feel for Bay Plenty on that instance. Yeah, that's really tough going for them now, and it takes a little bit of a shine off the last few minutes of this one too. So.
Absolutely. I mean, the angle that the Harbour player ran in on, she didn't really help herself. And
No.
Bay Plenty had the forehand the whole time. So very unfortunate for that. And like you said, yeah, it does take the shine out of it.
It does. It does. You know, it just puts question marks on a few things, unfortunately, as we see the two there on the seats. Like I said, pretty disappointed, and look, I share in some of that disappointment, unfortunately, as Harbour work their way forward. Yeah, they'll take a free hit just outside the circle. And taken around the edge from Gurley and Gill. That one flies away and over. And perhaps just an opportunity for the teams to take a bit of a breather. This one, though, it's probably got away from Bay Plenty now. I can't imagine seeing 3 goals in the final 5 minutes here, though it would be spectacular. I think Harbour have done enough. And again, not a lot of opportunity for Bay. Remember, they're down 2 players, so where you would normally have 2 strikers or 2, seagulls up there, perhaps getting on to it. There's just nobody up there.
No, unfortunately. And for Harbour now, it's just about the game management. So just holding the ball, starving Bay Plenty from getting it completely. They've got it in the bag.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's been a good performance by Harbour. I don't want to take those cards to take anything away from what Harbour have done. They've been clinical. They've executed on their penalty corners, which has been a big improvement for them. But yeah, it's tough to see games go that way when they don't need to.
Absolutely. And I think for Harbour, they had set that from the beginning too, so they got it done early, and was able to, manage the game a bit better.
Yeah. And now we see there here a bit of skills from Rishi, turning it on.
Oh, Rishi versus Rajwinda.
Yeah. It's star-studded, isn't it? And
don't know if Nev or Curry know that they're on the mics.
No, a little close there to the sideline mics. Now this one by Navina in the middle of the field under a bit of pressure from Tamar Hepi. And lovely transfer. Bit of space now for Rishika Chiba, showing off her best Krishna Kumar impression, actually. The one-handed curry carry.
Who's got the better stick, I think.
Yeah. And now just searching for a way in. It's going to go across. It's going to beat them all over the opposite sideline. And it took a little touch from a Bay Plenty defender, so they'll get a reload here. And now Narsai can see some space, can see her captain. Rishi winds up, and easy stuff there for Kashona. And just a shout out to we mentioned earlier, Audiwa Happy. She is watching along on the live at the moment. Just got a message from her agreeing with some of my earlier sentiments.
Yeah.
No surprises there, but yeah, watching along to see her Bay Plenty ladies play out this last game. Again, I'm sure she'll be equally frustrated as we see another excellent bit of work from Kashona in goal, stopping 2 again, like she has done so often already this game.
I think the only goals that actually have gone past her are those deflections,
Oh,
which are quick.
Yep, she had a deflection and then a 3rd save and a 2nd save. So, everything's been answered by Kashona. She's been fantastic. Even the penalty stroke she saved, how good.
That was just pure class right there.
And now the last 2 minutes will tick down here. The result is good as done. Harbour, they'll just keep things up this end of the field for as long as possible. And Bay, well, they'd be happy for the ball to see the other end. Good news for Bay, they've got both their players back on the field, so we're back to 11. But that 5-minute period just really took the sting out of the game. And Navina Hira looking forward, linking up with Monica Patel. She's a goal scorer again today. And I think might go close to one of the best of the weekend.
Who's on the top?
So we'll get our stats all up. Yeah, so coming into this one, Rajwinder Kaur had 6 goals. Audi Wahepi and Monica Patel were sitting both on 5 apiece. Obviously no goals to Rajwinder Kaur or Audi Wahepi. So Monica Patel will move into shared first on 6 goals. And cool to see both those players in this game.
Yeah.
Typical of a final. We've got some goal scorers out here. And looks like, yeah, unless Rajwinder can find her one here, she's going to have to settle for sharing it with Monica Patel. One thing that won't be shared is the title. And as Navina Hira gets the ball to the other end of the field, I think all the players will count down this final 20 seconds. I think our clock here just a little bit behind the actual game clock. And final opportunity here. I don't think anybody's going to be in any sort of rush to get that one. Rishi looks at Alicia. Alicia looks at the ref, and the ref looks at her watch. That's going to be all she wrote. North Harbour go back-to-back at NZIHC 2025 with a 3-0 win over Bay of Plenty. An exciting game, a game that saw opportunities, and a game that saw a cool and calm defending champs do enough in execution going forward to go back-to-back, and it's all smiles for the ladies in white. Congratulations to North Harbour. Commiserations, of course, to Bay of Plenty, who were unbeaten up until this point. They take their first loss of the tournament, and it's in the one that mattered. But all credit to the ladies out there and the ladies across the 5 women's teams again this year for an amazing spectacle of what was NZIHC 2025. For those of you that were tuning in live, what a game, what a tournament for the ladies section. And make sure you come back and join us for the men's A section final coming up in not too long. We'll be live with that one. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you then.